BJ.
Oh man, Dan the man. How you doing?
I'm good, dude. I'm glad that you were doing it in person. I think that's one of the last things that I was saying when we were last talking on this show. We were going through the rigmarole of the whole COVID and all the things and trying to figure out how to do these things virtually. And I'm glad to have you in the studio. If you can call it that.
The setup is dope, bro.
Thanks, man.
Came up for real.
I appreciate you. So last we talked, you had an injury. And you know what? Before we even get into all of that, right off the top, I want you to just plug all the different things that you are doing right now. Plug your socials, plug whatever you want people to know about where they can find you and all the whole thing.
So recap. How y'all doing?
Try to keep this little.
A little closer.
Yeah.
My name is BJ Mathews, and I am on Instagram. You can find me at bjizzle, and you can also find me on Facebook, and that's BJ Mathews. So those are the two accounts you can find me at.
Dope. And you're starting a show too. I want to make sure we don't forget about to talk about you're going to start a podcast. We've been talking a little bit about this, and I'm excited for you.
Yeah, man.
I think it's a dope name. Yeah. Good concept. You seem to have some people under your belt already. So that's a big thing too.
Yeah, man, it's been a transformation. So the podcast is going to be called The Pull Up, and I'm going to be having not only myself, but a good friend of mine who's also one of my high school teammates. He's going to be doing the podcast with me, and we're just going to be talking about strictly basketball all the time, 24/7. Have guests on the show, debates. It's going to be informative, but it's also going to be exciting and fun. So we want to make sure that the audience can relate. And the purpose of the podcast, in my view, is because I currently play ball, so I'm still active. And one of the hardest things when you're an athlete is to find out what you're going to do after. And me being me, like being around the sport, I'm deciding to go ahead and go into the broadcasting field and making those connections and stuff like that. So, said, why not?
So how do you make that decision? Like, because whenever I was still kind of trying to figure out if I wanted to be close to the game or not, or how I could do that. Like I could do some sort of coaching thing. I could do some sort of training, like not clearly somebody who has played at a professional level would have a better, like you could do that a lot easier. I think you'd have some respect on your name where I don't know. How did you make the decision between like broadcasting versus wanting to teach? Is that just like a personality thing or like?
Well, okay. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I was a kid, man, and basketball was my first love. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to actually in the playoffs, I used to write down the games of the scores of every single game. And also, put the, Lakers beat the Blazers and, Kobe had 28 points, Shaq had 26 points or something like of that nature. Yeah. And it was weird because, you don't see kids usually doing stuff like that. So I've always been into like analyzing, broadcasting, reporting. Just been a passion of mine. Coaching, I don't think I'll have the patience for it because,
interesting.
Most players, they want you to do exactly what, they see themselves. Like if I see an open pass, the team that might not see it, the player might not see it, and I might get a little frustrated, and so it's
because it's like, well, just do it. Like you don't know how you don't know how to tell them sometimes how to do what you would have maybe chosen to do in that thing.
Exactly.
Pull this in just a little bit. Just pull it close to your face.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, man, it's the first time. So
no, you're good. No worries. No worries. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. That's something that's one of the reasons why I haven't wanted to even try that, for fear of, I didn't think about it in a patience aspect, but more of just like I wouldn't know how to. I mean, I guess I should maybe try. Have you ever taught anybody like that before?
I mean, not seriously, just being around the game, you meet young kids and I may teach them how to dribble, shoot here and there, but
you're not actually,
man.
Nothing's on the line.
Nah, man. Yeah. It's not me.
Yeah.
So I stay in my lane.
I feel you. So how's that ACL treating you?
Okay.
It was the ACL, right?
Achilles.
Okay, Achilles.
So recap on that. This is the second time me tearing it on both feet. So the same injury.
Wait. You've torn your Achilles on both sides twice?
Not twice. So right and left once.
Okay.
So so both sides, like I've torn it twice.
Got it.
Same injury as Klay Thompson recently. Kevin Durant, a lot of top level players getting that injury. It's a tough injury to come back from, and it's, you know, knocking on wood, bro. The process has been good. I've had great doctors, great support, family, friends, all supporting me by my side. So it's made it a lot easier. The dark days haven't been as dark. But everything, you know, it's been good. You know, glory to God, man. Everything's been copacetic.
So you've been training like how many times a day? Multiple times a day or just?
Yeah. Okay. So I started off with physical therapy, of course, you know, for 3-4 months. And then I go straight into training, you know, slowly. So I might do first week back 3 times a week. Then gradually next 2 weeks, I'll probably go 4 times a week. So right now I'm at about 5 times a week, twice a day. So I take off on Saturdays and Sundays. 5 times a week, twice a day. Okay. What time are you starting? Is it like a Kobe Bryant sort of deal? Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, doing the whole grind? Not that crazy. No. But it's 7 o'clock, you know, wake up, you know, get my stretching in, all that good stuff, warming up. Yeah. Hit the weights right away, 7 to 9. I do some conditioning like on the track, stuff like that. And then like I'll chill, and then go in the evening time. I'll probably, you know, do a lot of court stuff like fundamentals, shooting, dribbling. Not really playing scrimmage yet because my whole thing is, you know, the COVID being where it's at, you know, we're not going to be playing anytime soon. So why rush it? So I'm just getting my stuff, you know, perfect.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You said 7 to 9. So are you working out both of those are 2-hour sessions? Or what's I want to know how stringent and how hard you're actually like trying to rehab this Achilles.
For real. So,
and how much you're actually able to do.
So I put more time into the lifting and, you know, conditioning than I do on the basketball. I feel like that's just going to come like it's in me. Like it's just like walking, like, you know, I know how to shoot.
It's been 20 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can do that, you know, just off rhythm. But the other stuff with the running and lifting weights, that's going to be something that you have to really build, get stronger. So I spend a lot more time on that, you know, extra stretching, extra conditioning, little things that I'm doing that I didn't do before.
Yeah. I've only had a couple of injuries. Thank goodness it hasn't been an Achilles or any of the LCL, MCL, ACL, all the L's.
No doubt.
None of that's happened to me yet, but I did have a shoulder thing happen where I went for a steal. I might have talked about this somewhere on the show somewhere. But I went for a steal. I smashed into this guy and it just like, it didn't come out, but it hurt and it wasn't going away. And I realized that, I haven't really been lifting with intent and purpose and like really putting thought into why I'm doing the different workouts that I'm doing. And so what are you doing specifically for the Achilles? Like how do you rehab that?
So
carefully.
Right. So the physical therapist, he gave me a chart of all types of exercises that I didn't even know exist until, you know, he broke it down for me. And, you know, it has like a little elastic band I have. Well, actually not little, it's pretty long. And I use that for like 20 minutes a day. And I'm constantly doing little circular motions with my heel and then, you know, flexor, dorsal, plantar flexion, all that good stuff. A lot of balancing exercises, stuff that if one-legged balance I can do on one leg, I want to do on the other leg. So I'm not only just strengthening this side, I'm strengthening my right side. And a lot of people make that mistake where they want to get that injury right on this side, but they forget about this side.
Right. And then that's how you tear both of them, isn't it?
Exactly. You get me? So it's a lot of little things, man. Little things that I'm doing. But that's the gist of it.
How long ago was that you tore that? Because last we talked was July.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty new.
Yeah, it was in January or February? It was in February. So February, and then, so that's about 9 months. 9 months. And my doctor told me it can be up to 6 months to a year, this injury. It's tough to come back from, but I didn't want to hear that because at the time I was just like, I want to get back. But then it's like, you know, why get back and then do something else again, re-injure yourself? Yeah. So I've been listening to him, taking my time with the injury and not really forcing things. So it's been about 9 months. Damn, that was when we talked July.
July 8th is when I posted that episode. I don't know how many days it took me to put that out. I know that at that time my workflow was still a bit tough. And so I was figuring this whole thing out. It might have been, we either talked early July or whatever comes right before July. I'm stupid right now. Is that March? It's March, yeah?
Yeah.
Man,
time flies, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a solid minute.
For sure.
So besides that, like what else has changed for you in the last 6 months?
So, what else has changed? It's just, okay, so before the injury, you look at things different. And we know we talked about this before with COVID. So everybody's had a chance to kind of reflect and kind of recounter what they've been doing in their life and also figure out ways they can make their life better and self-growth and things like that. So for me personally, man, I just been like focusing more on just self-reflection, self-growth, and reading more books and doing even a little meditation. And I thought I would never do something like that. But it's like, I want to get better. I want to do better. And why not do it now when there's so much downtime?
Yeah.
So I haven't really been focusing on trying to, be part of the crowd and doing things, with hundreds of people or tens of people, whatever you want to call it. I'm more focused on having my own right now and just trying to do my thing.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
What books are you reading right now?
So I read The Secret. I don't know if you ever heard of that book.
Is that the one where you manifest everything into existence by talking about it? Yeah, that's that. Okay.
Yeah, The Secret. I read that book.
That's one of the iffy ones. It's like the concept is kind of like you can go too far with it is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people, when they read it, they can get pretty, I don't know what to call it, woo-woo. I don't want to say woo. I don't want to offend people, but you know what I mean?
You get so drawn into it. It's like, okay, I got to live this like day take by take. And really it's just, natural concept, but also taking another approach to it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And I read the book and I was like, I put it down. I was like, okay, wow, this is why this happens. This is why this happens. And vice versa. But that's one of the books. And also been, with the podcast, I've been doing a lot more research on that. And, it's a lot of work, man. Even like somebody like you, I commend, who can actually do the podcast and hours of recording and hours of editing. I'm like, damn, like it's the real deal.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, it was definitely a learning curve in terms of like how many different angles you're trying to have.
Yeah.
From what I have found so far, is this table being a little shaky for you, by the way?
You know what?
Is it a little shaky? I can help you with this.
I'm gonna be a little honest. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I moved it to look. Don't forget my thought. I was talking about the
reading.
Yeah,
books.
But
Yeah.
Give me
this.
Yeah. That should be good. Or better, anyway.
Yes, sir.
This used to be, for a little backstory of this entire setup here, everything in this studio, for the most part, is refurbished. Everything. Literally everything. Except for this dark piece, this TV I got from a guy who was about to throw it away. I was like, does it work? Give it to me. Give it to me. This brown piece used to be a drawer that pulled out from the desk.
Yeah, I see.
And so, I've completely makeshifted this studio into something that is functional and mainly just functional.
Man, just gets the job done. Yeah, I don't care where you get it from, man. Gets the job done. So we good.
I forget exactly what point I was going to make, but I guess going back to The Secret, I did have a thought where I think that even just like you doing something,
right,
and realizing that it was you that did it can kind of make you realize that you can do other things, whether before you thought you could have done them or not. And once you have like that little boost of experience and confidence, then you can start like building on top of that and compounding your confidence.
Yeah, like man. Leap of faith, man. Really just taking what you didn't think you could do, like you said, and you can do it. And even if you fail at it, it's something that, okay, at least I tried it, I know. Because we only have one life. I think the 2020 year for me is the life where you can't leave no stone unturned. Like people passing away. Like speaking of passing Kobe, the quote that I remember one of them saying was that the biggest mistake we make in life is thinking we have time. So when I saw that quote, I was like, man, like everything that I wanted to do, I'm going to attack. You know, even with basketball, I make sure I attack everything ferociously. After basketball, I'm already setting the groundwork for that. Because people a lot of times make the mistake of talking about it all day. Oh, I want to be a professional this, professional that. I want to have this business. I want to have this house, this car, this amount of money in my pocket, but not putting no plan of action based off of what? Being scared.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you can weed a lot of people out just by not trying your competition. So if you take that leap of faith and say, well, I'm going to try to do something like this, you already separated yourself because people don't even have that same mindset as you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I learned with this year though, bro.
For sure. Yeah, this year has been a kick in the balls for everybody, even those who don't have balls. They grew some, got them kicked right off. Let me tell you, they got punted to China. Those balls got kicked right into Wuhan.
Exactly, man.
What you mentioned having all those, or just like making sure that what you're building, it leads to your end goals. And so what are those ambitions for you? Like, I don't always have a super clear idea of what the future looks like.
Right.
And so a lot of times, you're good, no worries. A lot of times I feel like I'm kind of just doing things to get by sometimes, which I don't like. And I don't know where that started or where that is coming from. But sometimes it's like I'm here, and as long as there's not like it's just kind of seems like there haven't been too many roadblocks. The less things that you want. Meanwhile, I mean, this is what we're working with too. So it's like maybe I'm being too complacent sometimes. And so I'm curious, like, what do you want? Because I don't know how much further I would want to even change this. I'm almost happy with this setup. I kind of am proud of the fact that I made it out of just some bullshit that I found on the side of the road. You know,
bro, it's yours. Like, that's something to be proud of. It's yours. Like, this is what you built. Like, man, this is perfect. Like, this is what, okay, I can go back and say, well, this is mine. This is my setup. It belongs to Dan. You know, nobody can take it. So yeah, that's something to be proud of. But as far as what I want, like, what you mean by that? So like, if you were me right now and you had this, how happy would you be?
Be ecstatic, bro. It's mine, and plus it's a funny story. Like, you got this.
It is a funny. It is a funny story.
You got this from a guy who's about to throw it away.
He was legit about it. He's like, it's got a scratch. I was like, I don't care, dude. It's got a big old scratch right on the side. I don't got it.
We call that humble beginning. So when you get where you need to get to, then it's like, okay, I know where I started from.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I feel like, I'm not trying to get too spiritual, but I feel like, no, I'm going to get, God puts certain things in our life that, you know, start us off at humble beginnings. So when we reach the pinnacle, then we don't forget where we come from.
Yeah.
So stuff like this is, I wouldn't have no other way.
I feel you. So what do you want then? Like, with all the things that you're laying out for yourself, where are you trying to go? What do you want to live in one of the houses that are outside that I get
Big
to look
houses,
at all the time? Those beautiful mansions out there.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want?
For sure. Well, not okay.
Because I don't know how much I would want that. Like, I do, like, it's nice, but it's how badly do I want it?
It's kind of like the question about, would you rather be rich or famous?
I'd
rather be rich, because, you know, famous to me is like a little overrated. You can be, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, take too much time, but when I was over in Vietnam, you know, I was really well known over there. And, you know, people were friendly, cool like that. But sometimes you walk outside, you feel like you just naked. Like, you don't have no privacy. And, you know, I'll be like, okay, well, let's say I'm making a step further. Let's say I was this person or any famous person. They feel like, damn, I can't even walk outside without somebody rushing up to me. But if you got money, I mean, and you chilling, I mean, that's kind of like the whole thing. That's the whole goal at the end of the day. Like, have money, take care of your family, take care of everybody in your circle. So as far as for me, what I want is I want to be comfortable, but I also want to leave a legacy behind for my kids or whatever who comes after me, who can say, well, you know, he stood for something or he did something that we can say he's proud of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, and would you rather be famous and broke, or rich and completely unknown? Is a really big. I actually have that. I have that debate with myself a lot of the time, and I'm glad you brought it up, because I've been meaning to bring that up with people on this show, and the fact that a guest brought it up is cool to me.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
If you are famous and broke, you can change that. Because if you have fans who love you, you can make a show and then monetize it. But
That's
if you're
very true.
But if you're
very true.
But if you're rich and all you care about is having the money and not anybody knowing your name and taking care of your family, then it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing. It just almost, I don't know what part of your personality that's playing into and trying to find, but like it's do you want attention or do you not want attention?
Yeah,
it's kind of the big question there.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like, you can look at YouTubers.
Yeah,
they're not making millions of dollars, but they may have like, you know, 100,000 or 200,000 or 500,000 followers. Broke as hell, ain't got nothing.
For sure. Yeah. Sometimes 500,000 subscribers is almost considered like a medium-sized small creator.
Yeah. So it's at the end of the day, it's what you want. Me personally, I'm taking, give me the money and I'm running off with it.
There you go.
That's my thing. Because I can buy whatever I need to buy. I don't need to know, like, you don't need to know my name. You don't need to know who I am. Like,
yeah,
I'm cool. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm straight. You guys can keep that extra stuff. You know what I mean? I
struggle with that because there's part of me that wants, I talked about this with somebody recently. I don't know if it was on the podcast or not, but like sometimes I feel like I am a look at me. I talked about this in the Michael Silverstein episode. I feel like I'm a look at me, but I don't want you to like look so hard at me that you can see right through me. I want you to just see me, acknowledge me, love me, and then that's kind of it. And not really, I don't know that I would want to walk out of my apartment or house if I was famous. I would hope I have a house.
Yeah.
Hope so.
For sure.
But I don't want to walk out and just be like feeling naked like you were saying. I don't know.
Yeah. It gets to you and that's also pressure too when you're like famous, because now all eyes are on you. Like my eyes are on Dan. Like, what's your next move? And as soon as you mess up, oh, look at Dan. He ain't nothing. He ain't much, whatever. And then you gotta watch the type of person you are, because if it can affect you, like hundreds of people saying stuff about you, it can tear you down.
For sure. They can take it from you like real quick. That's what cancel culture is all about right now. Right.
You got to be thick skinned, because I was even seeing certain people. This one wrestler, she was like a female from I think Japan or China, one of the two, and she actually committed suicide. Famous wrestler in Japan, because she was being bullied by so many people, saying negative things, and then you got people saying, well, I mean, that's not a big deal. You know who you are. You shouldn't really let that affect you. Well, that's easier said than done if you ain't been in that situation. And at the end of the day, I don't think nobody would be okay with countless people talking mess about them and they don't even know them. So you don't know how a person would react unless you're in their shoes.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I couldn't ever take my life, but I can't say it would never affect me.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So are you at all, have you had any kind of, not backlash, but has any of this cancel culture, because you are living in California, so that's kind of where I think all of the cancel culture kind of lives, is both of the coasts. Yeah. And I don't think Texas really has to deal with too much of it. Yeah. And if it does, it's very under the radar, just like all the other atrocities that are under the radar in the middle of America. But are you feeling any of that? Like, do you feel like, even as somebody who may not be as well known as some of these other people that are being canceled, are you feeling like you have to be on your toes with what you say or do, or like, do you feel like people are watching, even if
not to the point where it's any pressure? Yeah. I'm not saying that sometimes you do have to watch what you put on social media, but it's nothing like, well, okay, well, this person said this to me. I wake up and I see this negative. No, it ain't nothing like that.
Yeah,
at all.
See, the way it's affecting me right now is I'm single. And I don't like, there's part of me that knows that I could be more upfront with girls. Like I want to, but I don't always want to just be like so right in your face about it.
Yeah.
I'm just having to let it come to me which is none. But
well, you ain't put yourself out there.
But that's the point. But it's because of that barrier. I feel like I don't want to be too aggressive and then be like canceled for something that I can't even do. Like something that's not even like it's not really even possible for me to be canceled yet. Yeah. Unless I did something crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
which I'm not going to, but I'm just saying,
for real,
like I don't want to be accused.
Yeah. I mean, assertiveness and aggressiveness. I mean, I think you just gotta.
There's a fine line
between that, because you can be non-aggressive and then you're looking at like, okay, you're not gonna
guess we're friends.
Yeah, we're just cool. But you didn't even take that risk, so you got to kind of fill it out. Yeah, and feel like where you at with this chick or this girl, whatever you got going on. So it's case by case situation, my man.
For sure.
You know.
So you don't feel like it's like if there was a girl that you, I don't know, went on one date with, and you would you be comfortable enough kissing them on the first date like that, or would you kind of play it safe?
I've done that in the past.
I mean, in the past, yeah, for sure in the past. Same for me too. But now, do you feel like there's some sort of barrier there? Or should I just get over this and go for it?
Yeah, man.
Stop being a bitch.
It depends on the person. But yeah,
you're right.
It's very common. Like that to me is like, if my vibe is, I'm not saying you a chick or nothing, but if we're on a date and like, you know, we vibing, hitting it off, and you feel it and I feel it, and we get to the end of the night, very common that happens. You start kissing even more, at least the more things.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So
for sure.
And females 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna say nothing. So
that's the problem. That's my point. That's the problem. They're not gonna say something.
They're not gonna say, "Oh, well, let me kiss this guy on the first day, or let me do something."
Sure.
Or else I don't want to look easy.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's on the guy most of the time to make the first move.
I heard somebody say this, which made me feel good. I thought it was a good way to, you know what? I don't want to say it. I'm gonna keep that for later. Because
keep it for later.
It's like
really juicy, or
it's not juicy. It just feels like it's strategic, and it takes all of the. I'll just say it.
We'll chill.
It's kind of like an alpha move where it's like she gets in the car. You're like, hey, I'm gonna kiss you later. Is that cool? And then you haven't done anything. All you've said is a sentence, and then she can say yes or no, and it's like, cool. Now I can just do it whenever I want because I've taken all of the air. I've taken the tension out of the situation.
Yeah. So now
you're like, hey, I'm gonna kiss you later. Is that cool?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like you pretty much set up the stage.
Yeah.
For things to get done, and she might look at like, oh, well, he's taking control. I like that.
Right. Sure.
Let me take this a step farther. You know, so that's actually not a bad move.
Yeah. I don't remember who said that. It could have even been an original thought. It probably was not an original thought. I'm sure I heard it somewhere, but yeah. Girls, fun time with girls.
Oh man, this is facts. That's facts.
How is we don't have to continue talking about girls and relationships and all this kind of stuff, but how was that being in like another country? Was that a strange sort of deal especially with having, you said you felt like there was some sort of level of fame. Like how famous were you there then?
Man,
you felt like pretty.
I was out there. Like anytime you have random people yelling, BJ,
they know your name.
Yeah,
in the streets.
Yeah, in the streets. Wow. Like I'm like, I ain't used to this. So I was like, at first it was like, you know, cool taking pictures, but then it came to a point where, you know, you can be walking home, you might not having the best day, and you know, you still don't want to act like, okay, rude, but at the same time, you kind of want to be left alone. And they don't know that.
No.
So, I mean, good with the bad. But
For sure.
Yeah, I was definitely well known over there. Super well known. Anytime you play basketball or anything of that nature in a different country, you're going to get some type of fame for the most part.
Would you say that you were more of an introvert than an extrovert? It seems like that would be the case. I would pin you as an I this is a Myers-Briggs personality test. It's like a 4-letter. It's much more complex than that, but just like a basic. I would say you're probably an INT. You might actually be the same as me. I'm an INTP, which is introverted, intuitive, thinking, perceiving type.
Define perceiving. Define that.
I'm upset that you asked me that because that's the one that I always forget.
Let's look at that. Now you got me interested right now.
Hey, I'll have you take a test if you want. I'll have you take a test and we can film that and I can use that as additional content to put on the Patreon.
Hell yeah.
Patreon.com/Dan Galvan. You can go and support that for all extra content.
I like that.
Yeah, go to
perceiving
personality test.
Okay, so it says to become aware of, know, or identify by means of the senses. I perceived an object looming through the mist to recognize, discern, envision, or understand. I perceive a note of sarcasm in your voice. So I'm guessing it means you notice of that case.
Well, the opposite is okay. Let me look at these. This chart again.
For sure.
Let me click on my profile here. Boom, 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 boom. I'll read my personality on here. Or here is the P. Here we go. This trait reflects your approach to work, planning, or decision making. The opposite of perceiving, or in this case, they called it prospecting. The opposite of that would have been judging. So it would have been a J. It doesn't give me the definition for that, but it says prospecting individuals are very good at improvising and spotting opportunities. They tend to be flexible, relaxed, nonconformist who prefer keeping their options open. That's absolutely me. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does make sense. I would say I'm flexible. I would say I'm good to knowing opportunities where they hit me, where they come. And what else? What is
nonconformist?
What's that mean?
You don't play by the rules. You make your own rules.
That is me.
I do that.
I don't like to. I mean, so I'll take direction and construction, but I'm doing my own thing. I want to do what I want to do.
Sure.
My sky's the limit. I don't play by your rules. I'm gonna play by your rules for a certain period of time.
Right. Until it doesn't make sense. That's how I discern the difference between whether I'm going to take somebody's advice or not. If I don't think that it makes sense, I might take a little piece of it and use it to something else that I think makes sense. But
yes, you know what I said a few days ago? I always have something up my sleeve. So I'm always plotting, planning certain things that I might not tell you right away, but it's there. It's going to come out once it comes out. Oops.
You're good.
But yeah, man, that's definitely me.
I definitely want to know what your personality type is, and I'll have you take that test later. If you're interested, we don't have to put it online if you don't want to. I totally feel that. I mean, sometimes once people like know your exact type, they can look at you and be like, oh, they think like this, so I'm going to talk to them in this way. And so most people aren't thinking that many steps ahead. But potentially they could treat you different.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I still want the test though.
Yeah, you should definitely do the test just to know for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, I think we might be the same type. I think we might both be INTPs. But
my man.
Yeah. Oh boy. I have more questions written down that I'm blanking on right now.
Ask away, my man.
Let me just look at this little number. I'm trying to come at this show a little bit more prepared with context. Like knowing who my guest is going to be, writing down some questions just so I don't have moments of, well, now what?
Moments,
yeah. And I've been talking with a lot of people and trying to figure out whether or not that the free flow type of deal seems even attractive to them. Like, do you even want to listen to a podcast that you don't know what the hell it's about?
I would say most no, unless it's like a real person on TV, because it's like if I'm taking my time out to listen, I want to know what I'm listening to. And that's going to take a lot of, what's the word? Anxiousness. I don't know if I said it right, but you just know what's going on if I know what the podcast is talking about.
Right. So. Like there's a lot of YouTube videos that start with like a 10-second intro saying, this is what this video is about. And then they go into like a title sequence, and then they say it again. This video is going to be about this. And then they keep you hooked with saying those two things, just trying to keep your attention right off the bat.
Right.
And then they go down this long list of exactly what they were supposed to be telling you.
Right.
But I don't know. I find a lot of that coming across as fake and cheesy. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to try to be as authentic as possible,
that's definitely one.
It can be tough though.
One of the first things I realized about you, like you don't really care about image. You don't care about of course you're cautious, but at the same time, if it means contemplating who you are, then I'm not rolling with. That's the first thing I notice about you.
Well, it's like function over form, right? Like this, I don't really like. I do care that this looks a certain way to an extent, but it's functional. And I think that actually ties back into, do I want a big old house? Do I want like some crazy, amazing car or all these extra things? I don't really want all these extra things. I want things to function for me instead of me wanting all these extra things.
Right.
So that's an interesting perspective that you had there.
Yeah. Off top, that's definitely you, man.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah. The first thing that I noticed about you is that you, and I said this in the last time too, but you just, and I hope we share this. I think we share this.
A piece of hair.
Oh, it's probably the dog.
You sure? You sure it wasn't a chick?
No. No, that looks like a beard hair to me.
It ain't mine.
No, that looks like mine. You're good. No. Is there anything that's bothering you right now? Or like just with anything? I mean, clearly COVID's an issue. We've had the I don't really want to get political, but that's happening in the world. Like, is there anything that's like bothering you besides your right Achilles?
So let's talk about
or exciting. Either way.
Let's get into both. So let's talk about the election. Me, I didn't put too much emphasis in it. I feel like, in my point of view, the election was something where kind of get people distracted. You know, what's going on in the real world, other things that are conforming in the real world. Not to say it's not important, like, to vote and stuff like that. But that shouldn't be your driving force of your life. It shouldn't be.
No, agreed.
It shouldn't control how you move and make certain decisions. It shouldn't control how you take care of yourself. And if you have a family, your family. It shouldn't matter who's in the seat at the end of the day. You know, you're still going to do what you need to do. And if you're putting that much focus into one human being, then my whole thing would just be to reevaluate what you're doing. Because me particularly, like, I'm still, whether it had been Trump or been now Biden, it's going to be the same thing. Same ball's going to be rolling.
I kind of agree with you. Not kind of, I fully agree with you. It doesn't matter who the president is, who's sitting in that chair. Yeah. I'm still going to make decisions that directly impact my life. And it all kind of stems from me. And that is kind of what that, I don't think that's exactly what the book is about, but the secret is kind of about doing it's the way that I perceived the book anyway. I think that the book is more about I'm doing a thing, and now that I'm doing it, it's other things are compounding into it, and it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else.
Right.
Is that what it is about, or am I wrong?
No, that's what it touched down. That's pretty much the fundamental aspect of it, man. Just basically controlling what you need to control, and also having the mindset to believe what you're doing is going to manifest at some point in time. And the belief is also law of attraction. That's what it is. Law of attraction. What you attract, what you think, what you believe will manifest. That's the key fundamental of the whole entire book. I must have read it like 2 times. I'm probably going to read it a 3rd time. So that's pretty much what it is.
Did you pick up different things from it on the second time around? Like, what did you get from the first time? Do you remember? Like, why did you even pick it up in the first place? Like, that seems like one of those books that you're looking for something specific at a time in your life. You're looking for some answer to a hard question.
Can I be honest with you? Somebody recommended it to me. And going back to me going into broadcasting, trying to find purpose, looking for ways to have more, more control of what I'm doing, and having not like a, set plan, but also where I want to have things in order, where I know where I get to like a certain time in my life, I'll be ready and prepared. So I was like, man, what can I pick up to really start looking to having more of a control and a grip of my life? So somebody, I don't know who recommended me. So they said The Secret, go get this book. So I ordered it on Amazon. It was like $15. So it wasn't that much. But right when I started reading it, I don't really like, I shouldn't say this, I'm not much of a reader.
Me either.
You're not much of a reader?
I'm trying to change that myself. That's why I asked you what books you're reading, because I think that I need to start reading more to keep my brain sharper. I think that's actually going to be something that helps me with this podcast, with not only word recall, but increasing the vocabulary that I do actually have a pretty decent vocabulary, but remembering the words, sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm like, what am I trying to say here? And it takes a second for me to put that together. So I want to know that book and whatever other books you're reading too. But
I'm a visual learner. I like to see things. If I'm looking at a page full of words, it takes me to be really interested into something for me to actually be like, okay, I'm gonna read this from start to finish. I'm not gonna read no stuff that I'm not interested in.
Sure.
I'm just not. That's just not me. So,
I think that's how all books are though. Like, you don't really want to read. Who wants to do that? No, you'd
be surprised. There's
really
some geeky people who really would like to read.
But that's what they're interested in. They're interested in, maybe they're more of a generalized, I just want knowledge of all sorts, and they're a geek for knowledge, and so that's what all of the books are for them. But I think for most people, they're just like I want to read Harry Potter and get lost in this world. Or
those books used to be uninterested in me because I'm like,
really
600. Well, okay,
I loved them.
You love them?
I loved them.
Okay, well,
I'm not crazy about it. I'm like, right now, I'm not like a crazy fan over it. I'm just saying that whenever I was a young kid, those were my books. I read those all the time. Mostly for the AR points, for those of you that remember AR points.
Maybe I didn't give it a chance because I just saw how many pages. I'm like, hell no.
Did you like the movies?
I like the movies, but like, see, I'm visual. I like looking at pictures. I like to draw. That's one of the things that people don't know. I like to draw things. I like to color. I like to write. Those are my, like, writing, like I was saying earlier about the games. Like, I like to put my hand to a pen and start writing or coloring or whatever it may be.
When did that start? Did you draw things in like elementary school and everything?
Bro, it's been, probably even more sooner. Like,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's the first thing you remember drawing that you had some sort of like proud moment about?
So it was in high school. And I think my mom still has the picture in my room. She's a hoarder. She keeps everything. She doesn't throw nothing
That's
away.
my dad.
That's your dad?
Uh-huh.
See, my mom doesn't throw anything away. So she has old stuff from like way back in the day. I'm like, Mom, throw this away. Like, I'm not looking at. And she's like, but I just want to keep it. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
It ain't my house. So whatever. But I drew this picture of like this one scene in the book, and it had like, the grass and then the sky and the characters and stuff like that. And I looked at it one day, probably like a couple of years ago. I'm like, this is in high school. And I'm like, man, I can kind of draw a little bit. I ain't no professional, nothing like, but I can definitely draw a little bit to the point where it's like, okay, it's not like hard to look at. Like, what's there and you kind of see, okay, well, he got a little bit of a talent.
Right.
So I think that comes from just me being, I'm an introvert, don't get it twisted, I like to go ahead and be around people, but I like time to myself. So when you're by yourself, a lot of times people draw and color and stuff like that. So it kind of just came with the territory.
Yeah, usually the introverts are the more creative of the bunch. And that's what I was doing. Like we were hanging out earlier. You needed to take a quick shower from your this man drove 6 hours to come do the podcast and hang out with some other friends that are here too. But while he was doing his thing, I'm over here playing guitar, like just entertaining myself. And that's one of the things that I do a lot.
You got to play me a song one time. I don't know.
I don't know that I have full. I mean, I guess I have a few full songs, and I'm working on some stuff. I'm trying to put some stuff out, but I mean,
send me a playlist, bro. I'll listen to it, man.
No, but this, what is it? 7-8 months now. My guitar playing has definitely gone up quite a bit. But back to being introverted, like that, the quarantine kind of made me find an even deeper introvert than I knew I had. I wasn't allowed to go out, and it wasn't really a problem for me because I had been doing that anyway. But once it was like, oh, now you can't go out. Well, now I started the podcast. I started playing more guitar. I started doing all kinds of other like creative things. I don't know that I drew too much, but
for sure.
Whenever I was in 3rd grade, we used to draw these semi-trucks were our thing.
Semi-trucks.
Okay. I don't know. There was like, that's what we were doing.
Box and then the wheels and then.
But we would draw them 3-dimensionally. Nobody taught us. We just started like figuring out how to make these
angles.
Sure. And there's like a formula to it. And I found that kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But
because it's stick figures. Nobody want to look at that. So,
no.
Those are like nails to a chalkboard.
Those don't go on the fridge. No.
They put them on the fridge. Like, sometimes they'll put on the fridge just to be like, look at my baby draw. And like, you looking like
Yeah. Brendan Schaub has a podcast and he said his kid drew something and he's like, Dad, can we put it on the fridge? Papa, can we put it on the fridge? He's like, nah, buddy, that that's not fridge quality. And he didn't put it on the fridge. And he's like, okay. But that's good, though. I think that's good.
Yeah.
In some cases.
It teaches accountability. Everybody can't get a trophy. Everybody can't get a trophy. So that's just not reality.
Right.
So, but he said, nah, that's
buddy. That's not fridge quality.
If my son or daughter ever bring that home, I'll be like, nah, baby, that's not fridge quality.
Yeah. I definitely would. I 100% would.
Yeah.
Are you hoping for a boy or a girl with that? Or how many do you even want?
How many do I want? Or do I want a boy or a girl first?
I mean, both, I suppose.
So
kind of the same.
For me, I want a boy first. I have nothing against having girls, but I want a mini me first before I have a girl. And as many kids, I want to have at least 3. 3 to 5. I'll be getting a little bit weirded out when people say, oh, I want 8, 9, 10. I'm like,
who's telling you these things? Who are you talking to? Your friends are wilding out.
I'm like 9 and 10 kids that you can have that. That's not for me. I'm not 3 to 5. I'm good. Maybe even 2.
3 to 5 sounds like a lot to me too. Maybe that's just. Did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
So I have one brother and one sister, and my brother is 14. He plays ball too. He's gonna be better than me.
Okay.
And I got an older sister. And how old is my sister? She's 36. 84. Do math. 36. And so she's my older sister. And so it's 3 of us. And I was always thinking 3 is a good number. 3, 4, 5. That's about right.
Yeah, 3 I think 3 sounds manageable. 3 sounds like the max that you would be able to manage effectively. 4, 5, anything more than 3 really is going to start feeling like, well, how many rooms do I got to have in this house? God, what are we doing here?
Unless you sleep in the same room.
People got to share rooms until you get out in 18 years.
Me and my sister had a bunk bed. I had the top. She had the bottom. So yeah, it's like old red bunk bed too.
Was that forever or just a certain amount of time? Because I did that too for a little bit.
No, as long as till she left the house to college.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's for sure. People, share beds and stuff like that.
Yeah. Me and my brother shared the same room till I was probably like, I don't know. I was probably about 12, I'd say. I think whatever year, like third grade is a lot. A lot of things stem back to third grade for me for some reason. Like I think that's kind of like around the time where your brain starts
function and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No doubt.
But one of the drawing things that I remember from third grade, it actually would have been first grade because the Twin Towers got knocked down. The years before that, in kindergarten, pre-K, we would draw every year. We would like do a collaboration with the fire department in my little 200-person hometown. My dog is snoring, sorry. Like the 250 to maybe 500 people small town that I lived in called Placido. We would do a collaboration with the fire department, and everybody would draw like their firehouse and the person putting it out. Right. But then 2001, the whole walls were just like filled with nothing but people drawing the Twin Towers burning and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, that's another one of the,
that takes some talent to draw. Would it look like real smoke?
I mean, you just use the black crayon and do a bunch of scribbles on it. It looked like third graders and first graders drew it.
Because have you seen smoke actually detailed, like fire actually detailed?
Fire, yes, I have. It's very, very hard to draw. That's another big thing that 90s babies used to like to draw. Fire. Exactly. Jinko jeans were huge, and I think that was kind of their main thing. Wasn't there?
Did you have the, what's it called? It's like a red scribbler. Like you have the knobs right here, and then you know what I'm saying? That's a sketch. So I used to use that all the time, and then you shake it up, start it over again, like more visual, more creative, more drawing. Right. You know what I mean? So I just like remember like etch a sketch.
Yeah. Those things were always a pain in my ass because you put them down for half a second and your little brother grabs it and then he shakes it up and you were trying to build something. You just needed to go pee real quick and he takes it and erases all your hard work.
Yeah, bro. So, I never had. Well, my brother was born like 10, 12 years after me. So, I'm good.
How's that? My brother is only 3 years younger than I am. But yet sometimes it felt like, and this could have been my fault. Honestly, it easily could have been my fault. I don't know that we spent as much like intimate brother style things. I don't know. And I think that could have been mostly because I was very focused on playing basketball. And if we weren't playing basketball, then we weren't really hanging out. Basketball and video games is all I was doing as a child. Right. And so what is it like having like a 10-year younger brother like that?
Okay, so rewind about that. My brother, when I found out like my parents were having him, I was kind of like surprised because I was thinking, I was the last one, so I was kind of a little bit like, it's like you got to have another child because it's like out of nowhere. Yeah. But now, like, me and him are super close because I see me and him when I was his age. Mm-hmm. So, kind of like you want your brother to be better than you. Sure. You know what I mean? So he loves basketball just as much as I do. So we go to the court, we work out, do certain things like that, but also make sure he's still being a kid. You know what I mean? Because I know how I was pushed, and you still want your siblings, or when I have kids, I'm gonna still make sure they have the ability to still be a kid and still be able to go outside and hang out with their friends and play video games, watch TV, stuff like that. And we do all that stuff together, bro. We go to the movies together, laugh together, joke together. I talk to him more like, okay, now you're becoming a young man, you're no longer gonna be a kid, so this is how life is. I'm starting to teach you more lessons. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's great having him around.
How old is he again?
He's 14.
He's 14, and he's already 6'5", you said, right?
No, he's 6'2".
6'2".
He's 6'2", and and this is my opinion, I think in the next couple of years he's gonna be about 6'6".
That's good.
His hands, okay, so when we were kids, or not kids, when I was older and he was younger, we used to measure our hands. And then my little cousin, we were eating out one day, and he saw how big my hands are compared to my little brother's. And my cousin was like, that boy gonna be about 6'5", 6'6". He's already wearing a size 12 shoe.
Damn. What grade is that again?
He's in 9th grade.
9th grade. It's a good size for a 9th grader. Yeah. I was this height in 8th grade and 6th grade. Actually, I ain't grown since 6th grade. God damn it. I grown 1 inch from 6th grade to now.
Yeah.
And I'm like 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. Back in the day, I was towering over people and it was great. But yeah. I thought I was going to be 6'6" too. Why? I don't know. Neither of my parents are breaking 6 foot at all.
How tall is your mom and dad?
My mom, I think, is 5'2". My dad is 5'8". Okay. And I made it to 5'9".
So at least you're the tallest one out the bunch.
So far, yeah. I mean, I guess technically you don't stop growing until you're 25. My brother still got a couple of years in him. He thinks he's going to catch me. I think I'm going to end up being the tallest one. And I put that all on the book written by Michael Jordan's mother, Michael Jordan, Salt in His Shoes. Michael Jordan. Did you read that book?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He would go to sleep with his basketball, and every night his mom would sprinkle salt in his shoes
to help him grow.
And I used to do that to myself. I had some North Carolina baby blue Michael Jordan shoes that I begged my mom for that we ended up getting. They weren't even like any kind of special Jordans. They were just some run of the mill, like low top Jordans that were, they weren't any special number. But they were still like $110. And I'm very thankful that my mom bought those for me and the whole thing.
Bro, them shoes, hey, people buy like 20, 30 pairs of them Jordans, man, and y'all be like looking at you like
you don't need them.
That's
my roommate.
Yeah, you want them
every weekend. This boy's got some new shoes. Dennis, you know I'm talking to you with your 45 pairs of shoes you be getting.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, man. Like you don't really need them J's, but you get them just because they're the thing. And that's been like what? How long has J's been? Like over 20 years?
Probably longer. I don't know.
And I used to have J's, like collect them, but I'm like, I don't need these. I don't need my mom buying them. I don't need to buy them.
Yeah.
So why do I have them? And but yeah, I read that story with his mom spraying those salt in his shoes. I was thinking that's funny. I used to think that one thing off balance that if you swallow gum, you wouldn't grow.
I didn't get that. I just thought that it stayed in your stomach for 8 years. This is the story I was told. If you swallow, because I still do. If I chew gum, I try just to not chew gum because I always swallow it. And I have to do it in a specific way too. When I was a kid, I would take it and I would bite off a little piece because if it doesn't go down my throat properly, then I'm not done swallowing this piece of gum, which is like an OCD thing probably.
Bro, I as soon as I heard that, I started spitting my gum out, taking it out, rolling it up in the paper thing, and just like, cause I don't want to be like no midget. So, but I'm like, you bullshitting. You tell me I'm not gonna grow because I swallowed my gum.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Did you ever do like stretches to try and become taller? How tall do you want to be?
Bro, I wanted to be about 6'6". True story. Like, I feel like that would have been a great height for basketball. I mean, 6'2" is a good height for me, but 6'6" would have been better.
Agreed.
So if you're asking me what height, 6'6" definitely looks like my brother's gonna take it. Which I asked myself, how is he gonna reach 6'6"? And I didn't reach 6'6". You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of the mysteries of the world. Like, your younger brother's gonna be taller than you, type thing. He's gonna watch this interview and know what I'm thinking. So,
right,
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what it is. I want to be 6'6".
Is he dunking already?
No, he's grabbing rim easily though. And I think with him, because when you dunk, timing is everything.
100%. Yeah.
And he keeps getting the ball and then he tries to dunk it and he hits it off the backboard. Instead of like,
he's not controlling it at the top.
He's not controlling.
You got to control. You got to be able to grab it.
Right. He's not controlling it. He has big hands, so it's not his hand size. It's just him timing and being able to put the ball in the basket.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder if that's also hand strength. Like, I don't know what else you can do for hand strength, but we used to do those
grips.
Yeah, sure, grips and the hammer drill with the just smacking the shit out of the ball all the time in different ways, different angles and stuff. But
what I'm trying to do with him, bro, like, is to get him more mobile. Like, he can dribble and shoot, all that good stuff. But the thing about him is he doesn't stretch much. And then when I watch him play, I'm like thinking, you look a little bit stiff. Your hips, your glutes. His kids don't want to stretch.
No.
You know, I don't even want to stretch, and you know, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
But he really don't want to stretch. So when I go home after this interview, I take him through a bunch of stretches that he can do. The problem is when I leave, he totally forgets it and he doesn't do it. So right back to square one, you're stiff again. So you're gonna have to stop this if you want to really reach that next level.
It's a discipline issue though. And you have to actually want, and it's hard to know that you should and really want it when you don't feel like you actually need to, because until you've torn your Achilles like you have, now you really understand the importance of stretching. And until you have torn anything else, like once you realize how much stretching actually will help you will start doing it. I went to a yoga class one time.
Yoga's tough, bro. But I don't care what nobody says.
They opened my hips so quick.
Right.
So quick. I left that. I was walking like I just came out of a prison yard. Like,
yeah, it's real. It's real. It's real.
They had me in this one stretch for like,
sweating there for real, huh?
Yeah, but my hips were just like, I didn't realize how much like pent up tension there was in there in the hips. And then if it's possible, massages are great too. Like I didn't realize how tight my calves were. I got a massage like 2 or 3 years ago, and I had never had a massage that deep in my calves. And I did a lot of jumping, and because that's how we started talking about this, is dunking too. Like I've dunked a few times.
Yeah.
At this height in like 8th grade, 9th grade, and that's about the end of that dunking career. Because then I gained weight and I didn't have the same shit. But But my calves got way overworked. And if you can get massages, that's great. But definitely stretch. Stretch is extremely important.
Bro, the physical therapist used to massage me every time I went in there. And it hurt. Like, it hurt.
Yeah, I was crying like a baby.
I'm like, dude, I thought this was supposed to be... I watched the movie, so I'm thinking massages are relaxing.
Yeah.
Hell no. This dude is like digging his nails all through my Achilles and heels, and he said no pain, no gain. I'm like, this hurts, but it's necessary to have. And like you said, stretching and mobility, balance, all the little things that most people don't want to do is needed, necessary. And my brother, he loves playing. He loves going out there just hooping. That's what they call it, hooping.
Right.
Instead of, I tell him like, you can't just, it's good to be able to hoop and go and get a feel of the game, but you got to do these things that when nobody's around, you got to do that on a consistent basis, because that's what the great players do. Like
I was going to say, exactly. It will make you better.
Yeah.
Whether or not you think it will, just do it and find out. Because I promise from what am I? I'm going to be 27 in December. I'll be 27 in a couple of weeks.
Happy early birthday, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So I won't see you, so happy early birthday.
Thank you. From a 26, almost 27-year-old person who is still trying to play basketball with just at a very low level, really.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like I might hurt myself, and I have to put forth some sort of stretching. I have to, if I'm going to play hard against some people, I have to stretch for at least 10 minutes. There's no other way. I have to stretch for 10 minutes, and I have to get some like warm up shots to get my blood flow going. Yeah. And you don't really need that as a, what is he? 14, you said?
14.
Yeah, you don't need it as a 14, but you should start that as a habit. It's going to help you just miss all these injuries. You don't need any of these injuries. If you start stretching now, you'll skip a lot of things that you wouldn't know you're skipping otherwise.
Warming up, stretching, ice.
Ice is a huge one.
Ice is.
I didn't do that. I wish I did.
Oh my gosh. And as much as we play on the blacktop back in the day.
Sure.
You know how much ice would have been needed that we didn't get?
This is why my knees are very messed up.
Bruh. But live and you learn, right?
For sure. For sure. What were you playing in whenever you were playing on the blacktop? Like I used to play games to 100 against my neighbor regularly, like multiple games to 100 all day. We play a few games every day. Mm-hmm. Just outside in the hot, sweltering 100-degree Texas weather. Were you doing things like that too? Or like, did you make some sort of like pretend playoffs and play best of 7 playoffs and I'm the Spurs? Oh, you pretend to be a player.
Bro, you have no idea how many times I imaginarily tried to be somebody. Cause we all did it.
Of course we did.
AI, you wanted to be Kobe, you wanted to be T-Mac, Vince Carter, like somebody at that time. And when I used to go hoop with my boys when we played in the neighborhood, we'd be out there for like 4 or 5, 6 hours playing, going to the lights come on. And I wouldn't say 100, but yeah, we'd be running full court games. I'd probably play in a day. We'd be playing, depends how many times you win and lose, average about 8 games. You know what I mean? During the summertime where, you know, you got nothing else to do but hoop.
Yeah, that's all you were doing.
Ball.
Yeah.
So we were out all day, bro.
My mom used to take me to the YMCA on weekends for that. But on the weekdays we would play. I'd come home after school and play those games to 100, like 4 to sundown basically against the neighbor kid.
Right.
But yeah, I remember going to the YMCA in the morning, like at least, I think it used to open around 9 or so. I'd get there around the time that it would open. And then somewhere along the lines, my stomach, I don't know if you've gotten this before, but it would start burning, meaning clearly I'm hungry. But then at some point my skin just like starts
peeled off.
No, not peeled off, but starts itching. Have you ever felt that? Like you're playing a game and you're so like you still have energy, but you're just like, my stomach is burning and I can't scratch this itch that's on my skin.
I never had that. Definitely been times where I've been hungry. So
yeah,
we go to the little, spot around the corner and go eat, come right back to hoop. And you know what I'm saying? People are always on the court. So say one person leaves or 2 people leave, you still have like a group of teams still waiting to play. Yeah. So I used to play there. We play outside and used to be in the rec center. Like that was the spot to go every, you go into the rec today, call up 3, 4 of your boys and you get a team going. And, we be playing from probably like, get there like at 1 and be there till like 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I want to jump off basketball if we can.
Of course.
What's one of the hardest things you've like overcome so far? I don't think I've actually gotten too many hardships in my life. Honestly, I don't think I've had too much, and I'm curious if more of that would have benefited me. And I'm curious if sometimes I create my own just to try and beat them. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, obviously the Achilles injury is one.
Right.
That was mentally draining. And then I think one of like actually in progress now, me and my dad actually are starting to have more of a better relationship than when I was a kid for like various reasons. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because we're both getting older or what, but the fact that we can kind of talk now as far as man to man instead of like son to boy or man to boy. We can both talk about certain things that I'm experiencing now that he probably experienced when he was my age. So that's probably the one thing that it took a hell of a long time to overcome. It's still not where it needs to be, but we can still talk about certain subjects. We can still be cordial in the same room.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I can say is probably a big accomplishment and a big thing that I'm overcoming, because that's more of a personal matter. So that's where I'm like, okay, I'm proud of being able to have that connection with him and getting over that obstacle and getting over that burden. So that's one. And then probably another one would be.
Well, before you jump onto that, what do you think, why is that happening? Do you think that there's like a certain openness that you're approaching that situation with, or is it a mutual type of, he now respects you more than he had to as a child and is being more open in that way?
Yeah.
Or are you being more open to what he has to say too?
I think it was more so, it's mutual, definitely. But I think like the first thing you said, he's respecting me because as a man now, it's no longer you can, because he comes from the old school.
Sure.
Like my dad's he's from Chicago, like the Midwest. Grew up in the 50s, you know what I'm saying? Like he's used to a different mindset. Like that generation, how they treat kids is different from how this generation is. Like it's a whole new ball game, you know what I mean? So certain ways we have discussions in the past or how he would talk to me in the past, he no longer tries that with me no more. Doesn't mean I don't respect him, but at the same time, you're going to respect me too. Because I feel like a lot of times, I don't know how it is in the culture you're in, but in the Black community, you'll have the parent just automatically feel they're right because they're the parent.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how it is with
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think my mom had a lot more open-mindedness from the beginning and very understanding. My dad, however, I feel like was more of the old school. What you're saying sound exactly. But that comes down to like what his dad used to do too. Is like he has told me some horror stories of like my dad wouldn't get up one time for school, and my grandpa went in there and just knocked him with a bullwhip. Just got him with a bullwhip to get him up for bed, to get him out of bed to go to school. Like that's some shit.
Yeah, you gotta look at that too, and then. I really like, because he's...
Zero patience.
Yeah, because my grandfather wasn't even around. You know what I mean? I haven't even met my grandmother on my dad's side. I haven't met my grandfather on my mom's side. You know how the relationships people have with their grandparents? I never had that with mine. Because, you know, again, my grandfather, my dad's side was not there. So I can imagine the effect it took on him. You know, I mean, maybe I should try to see what he's dealing with. And maybe that'll make me be more, not say accepting, but at least be like trying to figure out, okay, how can we resolve this? We ain't gotta be like best friends, but we should be able to at least be cordial with one another.
Right.
We should be able to talk with one another. And yeah, man, everything stems from something. History, you know what I'm saying? I think the curse needs to be broken, like how me and him had a relation, or had like a little thing back when I was a kid and stuff like that, that's finally starting to evolve now. I'm not going to have that with my son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can talk to me about whatever you need. If you need anything, I got you. I got your back, whatever you need, whatever you are going through, whatever you want to talk about. You can't go to your mom for it. You can always come to me, because it's certain things I'm going to be able to understand that he or the person I'm with, mother or whatever, she won't be able to relate to going to a son or a boy or a man, something like that. So that's pretty much the makeup what I'm on. Yeah.
And I do want to just jump back and say my relationship with my dad is great. He did have the my way or the highway sort of mentality, and still sometimes does, but I think we actually are having that same moment in time where we both mutually respect each other, and whatever I'm thinking, he's just like, all right, I mean, I'm not going to like tell you what to do or like try to force you in any kind of way. I might give you some advice of what I'd like you to do,
you a man,
and what I think you should do. But yeah, exactly. You're a man at the end of the day. That's exactly right.
Yeah, man. It's just respect. That's all it is, man. For my point of view, just about having respect for the next person.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And being I asked somebody this recently too, the being a big brother thing. I want to jump back to that if we can, because I mentioned earlier that it could have been my fault that me and my brother didn't hang out as much as we possibly could have sometimes, because I was doing my own thing. Like, what kind of responsibilities did you take? Like, did you feel a responsibility to like be that? Because I only felt that in certain times. Like I punched a kid for almost hitting my brother. Like he might have not even been going to, but he raised his fist and I like knocked him in his stomach real quick. And he sucked air and the whole thing. And he fell on the ground and it was just like, all right, now we're going home. And he's on the ground and we're like, let's just go, dude.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of that's one of my only memories of being like I feel like I was a good brother. Sometimes I don't feel like I was the best.
I mean, you were there when you need to. And as long as he knows you, like you got to understand like certain situations, like you had going on that you didn't know that were going to affect now.
Sure. 100%.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you can only blame yourself for so much. But as far as me and my brother, I had a responsibility like off top. He even looks similar to me. People say, but he's a little bit lighter. I used to be his skin tone when I was his age, and it got darker when I moved to Texas. But that's another story. But he looks exactly like me. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me, take this kid under my wing. And a lot of stuff I'm saying now, he don't even know. But you have an obligation to anybody that's after you, whether it be your little brother or your son or nephew or somebody in your family, like, okay, let me try to help him as much as I can.
Right.
Even when he makes me mad, like he don't listen when I'm telling him, I'll be like, you know what? That's how it was me at his age.
Yeah.
So
stretch,
work out, get up, do what I'm telling you to do. And did you do it? And like, nah, go do it right now.
Write it down and then remember. Yeah, and then like, do it.
These kids, bro, do not listen. I'm telling you, they don't listen at all.
So you said Chicago. I don't know if we talked about this the last time. I don't think we talked about where you came from. Were you in Chicago?
Nah. So I grew up in California.
Okay. No, we did talk about this. That's right. We did talk about this.
Yeah. So I was born in Vallejo. Vallejo, California. It's like right outside of Sacramento. Right after I went to Vallejo, when I was like 5 or 6, I moved to San Diego. And I was there all the way up until high school. High school came, moved to Dallas for 4 years of high school. After high school in Dallas, moved to San Antonio for college.
Right.
That's how we met.
Right. And then that's how that's right. The trainer and the fuel. And that's how everything is taking place. That's right.
Yeah. Let's talk about that too. Like my career in basketball is not like the ideal. Like high school, I played all 4 years, but then college, I played 2. One of those years I got hurt, tore my Achilles. So that was the first time I ever tore it. And then after those 2 years in college, I went straight, play with the fuel and the ABA and stuff like that.
Right.
And then, most people, playing ball, like at the level I reached, they played all 4 years of college, or they played at least 1 or 2 of like college and actually completed their full career and everything like that.
Right.
So mine's a little bit different. And I don't know how to take that, but it's like, it is what it is.
I mean, you're still doing it. You're doing it. Like, and the same kind of goes for in a way, well, in a huge way, I guess. LaMelo Ball just got drafted, taking a very unconventional route.
When he went like left his junior year, right? Sophomore year?
I think he dropped out. Well, he did drop out of high school, didn't he?
Yeah,
he dropped out of high school.
Dropped out of high school.
Went to, didn't he did go to a college somewhere, right? For like, he like put on a uniform, right? Or was that Jello? That was Jello. Jello took the picture and then like flaked. So whatever happened to him.
He got caught in China.
That's right. He got caught in China.
Well, he played I think exhibition. That was it.
Right.
And then LaMelo, he went from
straight to Lithuania.
With Lithuania for a year. And then he went back to play in the JBA, that little league that his dad made.
Right. And then he bounced off of that.
And then he went straight to high school for his last year at Spire in Ohio. Then he went from there to another country in Australia playing in the NBL. So this kid, like, you've been to 4 teams in like
all over the place.
5 years. That's crazy.
Very crazy. Very I think it's good though. I think that probably, I think we're going to see more of that, is my point. I think there's going to be a lot more people bouncing on the college system.
I do too.
I don't love the college system. Clearly, I didn't graduate college. Not because, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons. We don't have to get into all of them, but I went to college for like a couple of semesters and then bounced. And I'm glad that I did. And I think that a lot of other people are going to feel that same way and not take on all that student debt that they didn't. I guess college athletes wouldn't have to necessarily worry too much about that. But
the regular student does. And like, not to interrupt, but college is not needed like for everybody, bro. Like, as long as you have a skill and a trade, because people say go to college, go to school, get an education.
Right. I say make yourself valuable somehow.
Yeah.
Get good at something.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Get a skill and do something that you're good at is marketable for the outside world and public to make you a living. Because that's what the end of the day is. I always get a little bit like, I feel bad for people who got, I got a bachelor's, I got a master's, can't even get a job. You know what I'm saying? I got to get a doctorate now to get like a well-paying job. But if you have a person who's like good at what you're doing right now, or who's good at sports or good at, plumbing or something like that, that can be marketable for the public. You're going to make a good amount of money.
Yeah. Or at least, even if you're not making a good amount of money, you will not be living on the streets.
That's crazy. Living on the streets.
You will make enough. Yeah, living on the street, I don't know how that would work.
Living on the street and you have a master's degree.
That would be incredible. Bro, that's got to be happening somewhere.
Bro, that's happening for sure. No doubt. That's definitely happening.
Where? Probably in what's it called? What's the place with all the homelessness happening in California right now?
You got San Francisco.
San Francisco is what I'm talking about.
San Francisco, LA, San Diego's actually, people don't know, has a little bit of a rise in homelessness. You know what I mean? So
everybody's getting pushed south.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how true that is, but when I drive downtown, I definitely see homeless people.
In San Diego?
Yeah, now I might drive one day and then the next day out the week I'll be like, I didn't see that person the other day.
It's just more. I'm like, well, there's something like, I could also be very wrong here, but I think I heard a number said around like 2 million or 30 million. It was something outrageous. It was something completely,
I believe it,
like incomprehensible.
I believe it
in a way.
I do. The way they run that state, bro, like, don't get me wrong as far as how California looks.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's better. In my opinion, the best state in the country. But there is a lot of corruptness with that government. There's a lot of stuff that is a reason why you got so much homeless people on the street.
Oh, I think my roommate might be at the door and I might have locked. Sorry, give me one moment.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? You're on the podcast right now.
Hey, man, what's up?
Are you locked out?
Like, I'm outside. Yeah.
All right, I'll be right there. Give me 1 sec.
Do your thing, bruh. Good.
Yeah, he's in.
All right.
Come here, little baby. I know you're gonna want some love. Are you good? Okay. Homelessness, San Diego, 30 million people. Still recording. Yes.
Still recording. We all
cool. God, I hate the breaking of flows like that. But it's all good.
Hey, at least it's, you know what? I don't mind it because it's like, it's uncut.
Sure.
It's real.
100%.
In your face.
It's definitely real. I don't know how in your face it is. I try not to be too deep in your face, but
hey, so remember Jim Rome, right? The sportscaster.
Jim Rome?
Jim Rome.
No.
Okay, well, he's a former reporter and we're doing an interview like we're doing now.
Yeah.
He said the wrong thing to the guest. The guest flipped the table over during the podcast and jumped over and attacked him. I gotta show you the video later.
Jim Rome sounds like an old man. Is he? How old is this man?
I don't know how he is older, but he used to do like a lot of he was the big time sports caster like in the early 2000s till probably like the 10s.
Yeah.
Like he's real well known.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said they had tension and beef, so he decided to bring him on the show to clear it up. And
that was the first mistake.
That was the first mistake. And then you called this man something that he asked you not to call him. He gave him 2 times to like say, okay, don't call me that. Like literally I'm talking like, don't call me that.
What did he?
I forgot the name he called him, but he said something to him he didn't like. He called him a certain name or nickname, whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, look, bro, don't call me that. And then he did again. And then he flipped the table over and just like,
yikes.
This dude's like 6'5" and you probably 5'10". Not smart.
No.
Not smart at all.
No. And I'm assuming he's also a professional athlete. Who was the person that flipped it? You don't remember the person at all?
Let me.
Well, you don't have to. But what was the?
It's gonna bug me if I don't.
Because it's kind of like Lil Wayne, and you don't want to call him Dwayne.
No,
because that's his dad's name. He doesn't mess with his dad.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Dwayne Carter.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the video. His name is Chris Everett. So yeah, click on it.
Which guy's the? That guy's the interviewer?
No,
that's the guy that attacked him.
That attacked him. Yeah.
First of all, I will say that he looks absolutely crazy.
Yeah. In the eyes, right?
His eyes are just completely bugging.
Don't cross that guy.
No. And that's the guy that he attacked. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Let me text me that video link real quick.
Text you right now.
Go ahead and put on your headphones so you can hear this.
My God. Try out these bad boys.
He is now playing for that team that he lit up. I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints quarterback, Jim Everett. There's the game winner right there. All right, that was then, and this is now. He's now a member of the Saints. Jim, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett, good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
About 2 years, actually, Chris.
Well, hey, you know what? Let me say one thing. In that game, how many sacks did I have that we came back and won?
How many sacks did you have?
That game.
Wait, what's his name?
Jim Everett.
His name's Jim.
Yeah.
Okay. They're both Jim, and he's calling him Chris.
Yeah, that's ironic, right?
Why? Is it just like a mistake, or is he like trying to make fun of him here?
So I don't know the backstory, but yeah, he got upset because he called him Chris Everett instead of Jim Everett. So yeah.
I want to see this man attack.
Let's see, but this was back in 1989. You may have even been Jim Everett back there, but somewhere along the way, Jim, you ceased being Jim and you became Chris.
Well, let me tell you a little secret. That, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time,
I already did it twice.
You call it one more time, we better take a station break.
Well, it's a 5-minute segment, or a 5-segment show. We got a long way to go.
Well, we do.
We got a long way to go.
We do.
I'll get a couple segments out of you.
It's good to be here with you, though.
Well, it's good to see you
because
too.
You've been talking like this behind my back for a long time.
But now I said it right here.
Right, exactly.
Well, we got no problem with that.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris.
I warned them, dog.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
Oh my God.
I tell you, I warn you. And I say, look, you call me something that I don't want you to call me one more time, and I flip the table over. That's on you. So for him to do that, bro, that was a complete dumbass move.
Yo, don't ever let me get that. First of all, this dude's being a complete asshole.
Yeah.
That also,
smart.
yeah.
Deserve that.
What is that even about? What year is that from, by the way? That looked like a very much a 90s.
Probably before that, bro.
You think 80s?
Probably late 80s, early 90s, maybe.
Jesus.
But yeah, it's old. It's old. Super old. Yeah, that's on you, bro. You did that to yourself. It was just funny.
Where that makes me think, did I say anything to offend you today?
No,
Clearly the table's not flipped yet.
You good, bro. All right. I was laughing though at that.
Jesus. No thanks. That's a giant man.
Yeah.
Wow. What does he do? What was he? He was a football player.
Yeah, apparently quarterback.
I mean, I saw the little footage. He was a quarterback.
He looked about like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yep.
Well, I'm all out of questions. Oh, you know what? I'm actually not out of questions. We didn't hit on what excites you. What you started talking about.
What excites me?
What's bothering you? But what's exciting you right now? What are you excited about in the future? Or
what I'm well, this podcast, bro. This podcast I'm doing. I'm putting everything in because I'm being meticulous. Did I even say the word right?
Meticulous.
Being meticulous about all this. So I'm making sure that equipment's good, set up, everything like that. My content when I'm bringing into the debates and stuff like with my partner. And debates are supposed to be controversial. So I say, I need you to say this. I need you to take this side. Even if you don't fully believe it, challenge yourself to be like, take a different stance.
Just play devil's advocate.
Yeah, that's what's going to bring me and grab your attention to the screen. So we're definitely doing the debates. We're also going to have the guests lined up. Like I showed you the list of like all the guests that's going to be on the show. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to bring that information to the public, because a lot of players, and not even just players, but people need this type of talks that we're having. Like right now, we rarely jumped into basketball. We're just talking about other aspects of life. And my show is going to be geared to do the same thing. Try to, actually give people real information that can actually use it. And also not only that, but use my platform that I have to also take criticism and advice to be like, okay, well, BJ, you need to do this better. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way you're going to get better at what you do.
How do you think being devil's advocate is going to play for you? Because like the way you said that makes me think maybe you're expecting your partner to always be the person who is maybe on the wrong side of history, and they don't really believe that.
Exactly. So
do you think that's going to mess with you? Because what if he wants you to take the bad side?
I'm going to take the bad side equally. I'm going to be like, okay, we're going to do this. Okay, let's at least get both sides of the whole concept. Like, yeah, I'll take it. Sometimes you take it. And it's going to be fun because it's like after the show, you're going to have people in the comments be like, oh, you don't know what he's talking about. You guys are going at it. Like me and him are going to be laughing. Like, you read that? Like, he
right.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun, man.
That makes sense.
It's going to be exciting. I can't wait.
Very interesting. Yeah. You so long as you're staying out of the comments and you're just laughing all the way to the bank, bro, you'll be fine. Yeah. Once the views start rolling in and the attention for the show happens. Yeah.
Right. Like
it won't matter what people think of you. It's just
right. Like one of the guess I told you, Rob Parker. He's gonna be on one of my shows. And when we had lunch in LA last week, the one thing he told me is something that Skip Bayless told him. And that's always go full-fledged in what you believe in. Even if it may look like people don't see, like people call Skip Bayless a hater.
I love Skip Bayless.
I like Skip Bayless too, even though he's like sometimes he does take those crazy.
I think it's hilarious. I love him. I love how hard he sticks to his shit like that. And I'm glad that you're saying that he told somebody to do that, because that's one of the things that I love about him the most is, except for all the Kawhi number 2 stuff, that whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
This guy he believes what he says. Like he's going all the way with it. And I'll be like looking at Skip sometimes, be like, man, that was a little harsh. Like you didn't have to go there. But Rob was like, hey, like if you're gonna say something, be 100% in it.
Right.
And so when I look at guys like Shannon Sharp, who's LeBron, king of the LeBron club, like that's where that stems from. And guys like, Skip Bayless, Rob Parker, and Nick Wright and stuff like that. These guys are like 100% full-fledged in what they do. So I guess I'm going to take that route. Still be rational and understand like, okay, you still can be a person that understands both sides, but I'm going to still make my point.
Right.
I'm still make what I have to say.
So do you already have some sort of idea of what the first show is going to be about? Who are you planning on having on first?
So my first show is going to be like, excuse me. I'm going to have one of my former friends who's actually a basketball player overseas in the Philippines. His name is Matt Rosser. He plays pro ball in the Philippines. Anybody that knows basketball in the Philippines knows that they are like the NBA over there. Like they love basketball in the Philippines. So he's treated like a star. I remember I went over there to see him play one time, and we were pulling up to the arena. And once we get out of his car, he had a few fans outside. They start grabbing their camera, trying to take pictures and stuff like that. And, basketball's king over there. So he's going to be my first guest. And then I'm going to be following up with other basketball players and stuff like that nature. And I'm excited, bro. I really am.
We'll be right back.
Did you already eat?
I'm about to go eat. Yeah, I'm about to go eat. Yeah.
Where y'all going?
Yard House.
Nice.
Yeah. You been there?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, you never been there?
Nah. What you usually get?
What do you like to eat? Like, what are you craving right now? They probably have it. They have a lot of different stuff.
On the cool, bro, I want some nachos.
They definitely have nachos. They gotta have nachos. They have like a lot of it's almost kind of like gentrified American food. Like they got like a gourmet burger. They got like gourmet pizza, like a flatbread deal. They got
nice.
Truffle fries.
Truffle fries, yeah.
Of,
yeah.
shit.
definitely get some nachos and probably spread with some chicken in there. Hopefully they can do that.
I would always just I don't go there very often. But back when I used to, I was a big drinker. And so I always appreciated their beer menu.
Their beer menu?
Yeah, they have good. They have like 50 beers on tap.
Man. I know you like beer.
I have I'll jump right back in here. We are back. We were talking about beer for a second ago. And, I have my name on a wall for drinking 200 different beers. 200 different separate beers in a year.
Beers.
Different types, yeah. So there's a bar. I think they have them all over the nation. It might only be a Texas thing, but I think they're all over the place.
Yeah.
It's called the Flying Saucer. You're not using the cup I thought I had you using. I have one of their glasses, which I shouldn't have, but yeah, whatever.
Hey,
we took one a long time ago. It just happened to, I mean, it's live. We're here. Yeah. But no, yeah, my name's on the wall, or the ceiling rather, for drinking 200 different types of beers. You put you go to the booth and you type in what beers you ordered, and there's a limit to 3.
Right.
So I probably had more than 200 different beers in that year, but yeah, I do love beer.
Me, I'm not too much of a beer drink. I'll drink liquor. Like I like, Henny, got Patron, mix it up a little bit, but I've never been like too crazy about beer.
Yeah.
If I drink beer, it's going to be like Dos Equis. That's only because I was in San Antonio. Like a lot of people here, they drink Corona or Dos Equis. That's how I used to go to these little parties. They used to be like Dos Equis. I'm like, I'm used to it now. So just go and get pop one real quick.
Yeah, no, for sure. I didn't think that you drank at all, really. So do you? That's definitely one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is diet and how much water are you drinking? I just felt I needed a break, get my gallon of water. Do you need a refill? I just drank out of this, but do you want me to pour some in there?
I was going to actually toast.
Oh, you want to toast with my? That's a first. Hey, I never toasted a jug before.
To answer your question. So rewind. A lot of people say that they don't think I didn't know you drink. Let's define drink, because people be like, say you don't drink enough. So like sometimes a person who likes to drink say, oh, you don't drink. I say I drink, but I just don't drink every weekend, or I don't drink on top. I drink, socially.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If I got a boy or my friend over or something that's going on, a function, yeah, pour me a glass. But it's not like I'm getting faded every weekend. Like that's just not me.
I should have asked you then. I knew I should have asked you. And that's kind of what I meant by when I asked you, do you need anything? Yeah. And you responded with just maybe a shower. I was like,
just a shower.
You got it. I can get you a shower. I can get you a shower. Wasn't expecting that to be the response, but I'll take it. I got you on the shower.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
I was like,
hey, all I need was a place to, shower, get fresh.
For sure.
Good. But the diet. Wait, so what question about that?
Well, you're a professional athlete, so like what are you eating? Are you trying to stick to a certain regimen for optimum human optimization, all those types of things, or are you just kind of blessed with good genetics?
Okay, so a little bit of both. I do eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink no soda. I don't drink. Well, I drink, but I don't drink no sodas. I try to stay away from like a lot of fried foods, more baked, a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of water, a lot of milk, stuff like that. Genetics do come in because, shoulders broad already, don't really have to really work my shoulders out. I've always been pretty high metabolism. So people say, well, you skinny. I'm like, I'm fit. But also, like, don't get it twisted. Like, I can bench 200 plus, so it's like, don't get it twisted. But that's just genetics. And food-wise, though, like, I eat pretty healthy, but I also cheat a lot. Like, I do like my chips. I do like my sour worms. I do like...
Your what? Your sour what?
Sour worms.
Sour worms, yeah.
What you think I said?
No, I didn't know what I thought you said sour worms, but usually when people say that, I hear gummy worms, sour gummy worms, but you just said sour worms. But I got you. No, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, I usually say, right, gummy worms. Or gummy bears.
Sure.
Yeah, I used to tell you like gummy bears?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah. There's two different types I find. There's the name brand and there's the not name brand. And I don't know which one I like. I know one of them is better. And I'm thinking that I actually like the off-brand better than the Haribo, I think.
The Haribo, those bears, I don't know what it is. They're dry as hell. Like,
and sometimes be extra chewy. Like they're hard sometimes.
Hard.
Right.
Yes. And I'm like, this doesn't work for me. I'm going back to the neons. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, that's where
the
ones you used to get a Blockbuster.
Yeah. Those are the ones. Oh,
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
There's one left. It's in Oregon.
They have one left?
One left. It's the only one left.
California's right below Oregon. Was it in Portland?
I could find out, but it's I just saw it recently.
If there's a Blockbuster, I might have to take the trip.
There's only one. Yeah. Let me just type it.
Yeah, bro.
Last Blockbuster, Oregon. The last tourist attraction. It's in Bend. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to say Bend, but I wasn't sure.
Oregon?
Bend, Oregon. What?
I'm taking a trip there.
One of my favorite bands is from there.
What's your band?
Larry and His Flask. Larry and His Flask. And then I actually don't know if they're still making music together anymore, but they were the first concert that I ever saw in Austin. Like live, real type of concert. Like I'd been to other things with my parents, but that doesn't really count, you know? Now, you typically was always like some sort of cheesy carnival thing, some sort of musical event like that. But this was the first type of concert where there's beer being slung in the air and all kinds of crazy shit like that.
You got the full experience.
The full experience, the crazy crowd.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, they're from Oregon.
You ever smashed a beer can on your head?
Never. Don't plan on it. Not that guy. That's not me. I've never been the frat kid doing the crazy pranks. Like, that's not even a prank. What is that?
That's just a tradition.
That's just some crazy. So you've done that?
I've never done it. I've seen many people do. I've seen the stupidest thing, bro. Like somebody smashed it with actually there's beer still in it.
I feel like that's how you do it. No,
you're supposed to drink it and then you smash it.
They wasted it. What
happened? Well, I was like, man, some of the stories I saw, I was like, man, I can tell a bunch of stories on that.
Tell them.
So that one, hear them. I went to this one house. It was in college, this frat house, basically, and I don't know if it was a Sigma or Cap, one of those frats, bro. And I just remember going to like one of them. They did like this huge drinking game, and I guess like a few guys were actually, smashing the beers on their head and stuff like that. And that's why I said I saw the one they had actual beer still left. And I'm like, bro, aren't you supposed to drink? I'd never done, but aren't you supposed to drink it up? And he said, it is what it is.
Yo, there's a lot of crazy things that have happened right after that sentence has been said. It is what it is. And then he blacks out, kills somebody on the way home. Good Lord.
Yeah, bro. I miss college. You don't miss college? Or do you miss being like that age? Because I remember it's like 4 or 5 years.
I mean, I guess it was all right.
That's a no.
It was okay. I didn't have too much going on in that time. Like everything was kind of still, I don't know. When I was 18, I still didn't have a car. 19 might have 19 still didn't have a car. I don't think I got a car till I was like 20 something. And so that was a pain in my ass, walking the 2.5 miles to go to work first for those however many years that was whenever I went to college. So 20, I don't think I got a car till 14. So a couple of years of just walking to go work at Starbucks for minimum wage and then walking to campus and walking to, at some point, whenever you met me, I did have a car and I had just finally quit the Starbucks job and gotten hired at Maverick. But I mean, college was okay. It was a lot of strange years. Maybe I'm not reminiscing on them so hard because there was absolutely a lot of alcohol. And so part of me doesn't remember all of the things.
So you was heavy in the drinking game.
Oh yeah, that's how I got fat. Did you ever see Fat Me? I think you might know about it.
To be honest, I didn't think there was much of a difference from you now and you back then.
Well, I think right whenever you met me, initially, I was probably about where I am right now. And then, yeah, either 14, it was either 15 and 16 or 14 and 15. There were two really balls to the walls drinking almost every night.
Really?
Yo, yeah. Because karaoke, man.
Such a maverick, Daniel.
Yo, I was a crazy dude, not crazy dude, but I was, I liked to drink quite a bit at that time. And we would go out mostly for karaoke. I was really into doing the karaoke all over the city. We had spots, and like not every bar has it every night. So there's Mondays we'd be at Boneheads, Tuesdays we'd be at Oak Hills Tavern, Wednesdays there was a free day, Wednesdays nobody had karaoke. Now there actually is somewhat. I think Steely Nevada's, which I never got to go to, has karaoke on Wednesdays, and Thursdays back to Boneheads, Fridays probably Dad's karaoke, Saturdays Dad's karaoke, every single day. Sunday even Sundays Oak Hills Tavern every day.
So and that's just find time to do homework.
I didn't have homework. I wasn't in college.
Oh yeah, 2 semesters.
I dropped out after 2 semesters.
So you weren't doing it even when you were in college.
In real college, no. I didn't drink too much in college. No. Okay. I did a little bit, but not too much.
Gotcha.
I didn't go to any of the crazy parties like that. I heard stories of other people going, but I didn't. It wasn't cool enough.
That's where you get all that stuff out of you in college, bro. Like, I would say me, I wasn't too crazy. I was just focused on ball and schoolwork, and I wasn't thinking about going like tons. I went to parties, but not like just because I knew people, but not like something crazy where I was drinking every weekend. Like, but that's where you get all that stuff out of you, out of your system.
100%.
Those people I seen in college, you look at them now, they're family people. They got a wife, kids. They're just complete. I'm like, bro, what happened to you? And like, hey, I settled down. I got everything out of my system, so I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the presidents of the United States, I forgot his name. What is his name? Bush, W. Bush. I think he had like some. One. He did the second one. Okay. Pretty sure he did some crazy college stuff, and definitely Clinton. Clinton did some wild stuff. And more just keeps coming out apparently, but
Clinton was off the chain.
And I don't really even know too much other than I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I can't do the accent anymore. A lot of
technically determined that was bullshit.
And then the Epstein Island and all that ring of child craziness.
You saw that too? Bro, somebody was telling me about that too. Like, there's the private island, or
yeah, they call it Fuck Island, where Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm gonna get some of this wrong, but Jeffrey Epstein would fly people to this private island that he had, and apparently there's a lot of high names, and I don't know, Clinton, I guess, was on that plane with Epstein like 27 times or something like that, even though he's denying that he even like knew the guy.
Clinton, man, that's a crazy dude. That's a crazy dude.
People love him though. Like,
yeah, they do.
And even women.
They do.
Even though he's kind of like a creepy dude, in my opinion. I think most dudes, when they look at him, can see the creepiness.
Females, not so much, right?
I don't know, but they seem to love him
as a player or something.
Or maybe it's just his money. I don't know.
Money will change a lot of things, make you look more attractive than what you are.
And he does seem like a confident dude, so there's also that. But
for sure, because if you look at that match between him and Hillary, like, do you think that really matches together? No.
No.
Exactly.
No, I think I don't even think that they're married in a sense. I think that they kind of have a business relationship where they are trying to take over the world and
just get the
and have 50 different fuck islands.
Yeah.
Do all these different scandalous things.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't think they're good people.
Yeah,
From afar.
I've been saying that.
But,
yeah, man. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have going on as far as good. And I had something else I wanted to say. I did tell you about, so this is kind of good and bad. I did tell you about Dubai, right?
No.
So I had a contract I signed to go play in Dubai.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
right after we had our little podcast.
Okay.
I got a contract offer 2 weeks later and I signed. And they said the season was going to start in October. So I'm actually supposed to be gone by now.
Right.
But then my agent comes and hits me up, I want to say about 2 weeks ago. Or no, I'm saying 2 months ago, and tells me like there's no going to be a league or it's going to be postponed due to the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it started off good and then it turned into bad. And
So it's done? Like you're not going to be able to play there?
nah,
Why is that?
because of the COVID.
But they're just, it was going to be like a brand new league.
No,
Like,
it's the same. So it's the UAE league. So if you look that up, UAE league is the big league over in the UAE in Dubai, and they're not going to continue the season because a lot of these little sports leagues are not continuing because of COVID.
oh, and by the time that their season will be back, your contract will technically be up?
No,
Or like
they're
what's
not.
happening?
They're not happening entirely. They're not going to have the season at all.
Right.
And so they say postpone, but my agents are saying just don't look to have the season this year.
Right.
Over there, which is kind of bummed.
But in the future though, like you're technically still going to play, you think, in Dubai?
I hope so, but
Yeah, I'd hope so too.
If it doesn't happen, I'm on the mindset right now thinking it's not going to happen, because usually when I hear the words postpone or if I hear the word maybe, then it's usually a word for no.
Yeah, sure.
So
So maybe I don't understand what you're saying, because if the league's still happening, so why wouldn't you? If you've already signed a contract,
So
why in the future wouldn't they want you?
so that's why.
Or like what's happening there? Why would that?
So
even,
okay, let me explain
be
a
a
little
doubt?
better. Let me explain a little better. So yeah, I signed the contract. So the league entirely is shut down for right now. And when they say postpone, my agent's looking at it like, okay, yes, you signed the contract, but still, if there's no league to play in, then the contract is pretty much null and void.
I see.
So I'm looking at like, all right, well, Dubai's out for now. If it happens down the line, cool. If not, then I'll have a backup plan. And going back to like COVID, this whole thing with COVID, how do you feel about it? Like, because I'm thinking like it's messing a lot of things up with.
Oh, it's messing.
Do you feel like shutting the economy down is the right answer?
No, absolutely. I don't think it's the right answer. Honestly, yeah. I think that originally what we should have done is maybe have shut down things for like, but actually shut it down and actually everybody play by the rules and do what other countries have done. And I don't know if other countries have it completely eradicated. I think all those other places are actually having cases come back now. And so it might not have done anything for us, but I think that people need to make money. Like people need to be able to fend for themselves. And there really is nothing they're not supposed to be able to do that. Like you can't tell me that I can't work. That's not something that is supposed to be possible.
Bingo. Because a conversation I was having with a friend, we were talking about the same thing. And he said, look, you can tell me not to work, but compensate me.
Sure.
For not working.
Yeah.
But don't sit here and tell me I can't work and then not get paid at the same time.
Right.
You're going to have to pick a poison that either one, I'm going to work and make a way to, have money, because you're going to still charge me for these bills. Like my rent still got to be due. Car notes still got to be due. Car insurance, food, all the utilities do not stop. Bills do not stop.
Nope.
So what am I supposed to do? Supposed to just stay home
and live off the $1,200 they gave you.
Which is like, by the way,
the one time
was it supposed to be a second one?
There was talk of it, and then I think if I'm not, I might be getting somebody's name mixed up here, but I think Pelosi had something to do with
Nancy
that.
Pelosi.
With that being held off until further things with Biden and their. I could be talking out of my ass. There might be something coming. Like once something else was settled, I don't know all the details, but
Trump literally said, if you guys vote me in, you'll have another stimulus check. If you vote me in. So this dude's trying to pimp us out, talking about if you vote me in for this next term, then, you get your stimulus check.
Right. It's like, well, how much we talking though?
How much are we talking?
Like,
1,200 is not enough.
Hey, give me a couple 100,000. Maybe I would have voted differently, but no, not for 1,200. Like I maybe could be bought in some cases for sure. Right. Somewhere. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Like seeing people like actually struggling and not being able to take care of themselves, and then they got families to take care of, and it's a crazy situation. Very sad.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if I said this last time, but I got very lucky in having a nice sized job right before everything happened, and I wish that everything hadn't happened, but I was okay. And only, I don't know, it's been like 2 or 3 months now. Probably about 3 months where I've been like, all right, everything's starting to run out. We need to figure out what we're doing here. And luckily, Texas is relatively open for the most part, and people are still trying to move and shake and do things. And there are companies that are trying to survive. And so I am still like necessary for them to try to further their business. And so it's not completely dry, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The whole contract in Dubai was going to be a nice little penny. Like,
yeah, Dubai is big.
Boy. And see, I didn't know too much about so let me tell you how I got the offer. So somebody hit me up on Instagram, like a regular, he's an ambassador for the league. And he messaged me and say, hey, I can make you 80 grand to 100 grand for 5 months.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like some bullshit. So I'm like,
right, of course.
So I'm like, all right, let me look this dude up. So he's a legit guy, legit ambassador. And then I said, okay, what do I need to do? First of all, what are we talking about? And he gave me the country of Dubai, UAE, gave me the team name, stuff like that. And I said, how'd you find me? And he said, he saw me on YouTube. That's how powerful it is. He sent the tape that he's seen me playing in. And he said, that's how I found you. You'll be a good fit over here. So I was like, well, if you can set it up and then you're talking about this amount of money, then yeah, I'll be a fool not to take it. Yeah. So he hit me back for the next 2-3 days, bro, with that contract. He said, here's the team. Here's the team owner. He's expecting your email. Sign, read it, what you got to do with your agent, and then send it back in. And then that was it.
Wow. Yeah. That would be a great paycheck for sure. 5 months, 6 months for nearly 6 figures, if not, in fact, 6 figures. That's great money.
Let me show you the arena. How it was supposed to look.
And it's not a new league, is it? It's an established league, and it's a reputable team.
It's called the UAE. So U as an umbrella, A as an apple.
Can you talk about the team, or no? Can you not? Like nah. What was the okay?
Yeah, so I can. So I can do is I'll show you the team name, and then the place that we're supposed to be playing at.
Yeah, Dubai is a beautiful country. They've got, despite their, I guess, opinion on women and the whole thing with that, but.
So that's the outside.
Oh, wow.
And then press that back button and you can check the inside, the next photo.
Oh, wow. Ooh. Let me zoom in. Oh, can't zoom in. Okay, that's fine. How many people does that thing hold?
Bro, did you send me how much it holds? At least a couple thousand.
I was gonna say a few thousand, right?
Thousands at least. I don't know the exact number, but definitely I was all on that, bro. Because it's a lot of guys are still trying to get a job, like still trying to play somewhere else, and it gets to a point where it's like so many people are ready to play. I never knew how many people play basketball until like you start not looking just at America, but looking at Canada and Mexico and these different countries, and it's like it's a global sport now. Yeah, you're no longer competing against guys just in the United States. You're going against guys who are just overseas and stuff like that. So you get an opportunity to play anywhere, you always got to run with it, no matter what. If it's a good amount, if it's a safe country, you're a good fit for the team, then you take the opportunity and run with it. Thank God and just go about your business.
For sure. Every time we talk about this, it makes me feel like there's somewhere for me. I feel like some team could take me somewhere. Maybe not that. Maybe not like, I don't know. probably a lower level team. I try to think highly of myself, but honestly, but on the other hand, like there is a certain level of reality. Like I know that there just are people who are naturally more athletic and gifted, and they put in just as much work as I did. And so they have both. Yeah. And that's what you have to make it in these types of leagues. Like but thinking about that type of cash and that type, and I would do it for way less than that. Yeah. Way less. I would play for 5 months. I would play for a whole year for like $12,000. Yeah. That would cover rent and basic necessities. I think I would have to live very, very much paycheck to paycheck, and skimp on lots of things. But if all I was doing is working out, playing basketball, and all of my bills were met, I wouldn't give a shit. That would be great. Bro, and that's how I felt as a child too. And I think that still holds true for me.
You just want to hoop. If you can hoop and get paid off of it, that's the dream, bro.
It's like, yeah.
And also my podcast is going to be, a lot of it's going to circle around the younger players and understand that the NBA is not the only league in the world. You know what I mean? And it's something where you growing up, be like, oh, I want to play in the NBA. I want to play in the NBA. I want to do this. I want to play in the NBA.
1% of 1%.
1% out of 1% make it in that league. And you can be chasing that dream for so long, and then you can miss the opportunity of making it on a top level overseas team or getting paid. Because at some point, it's going to be about how much you're getting money. You're going to be like, okay, well, NBA is just not going to happen. So I need to look at other options. And you can get a lot of money. These overseas teams, like these overseas leagues are making, and they'll bring you in. You'll be making more money over there than you were ever thinking in America.
Right. And it's like, don't give up on your dreams, but remember that Stephon Marbury also played in China wherever he played. And Allen Iverson played in, I think, somewhere in Asian. Germany. Was it Germany?
Was it Germany? Yeah.
Regardless, both of those people are very talented. Clearly. Hall of Famers.
Right. Stephon Marbury, did you see that documentary? It's called A Kid from Coney Island.
I missed it.
So check it out. It's on Netflix, and it talks a lot about how his experience in China was, and how, actually he's the guy who actually tailored for everybody else now to go overseas. It was because of him. Because remember when he first went over there, people were kind of looking at him like,
yeah,
China.
What are you doing?
What are you doing going to China? Now all the top players
he kind of owns it over there, right?
He got a statue over there. That's crazy. He got a statue in China. A black man has a statue in China. You tell me that's
true. Wow, actually, that's a really big thing. A black man has a statue in China. That is crazy. That's incredible.
That's a story to tell. Like, that's more of a,
or even not even that he's black, but an American too. At that, an American has a statue in China.
Exactly. And that's more of a story to tell than a guy over in the NBA just doing what he's doing. Because it's like, you're China. You know how many people are in China?
Billions
of people. Like, the impact he's making over there, the impact somebody over here could never make, because just not enough people to reach. Like,
and they have a different level of fandom too.
They do. Like
they're more dedicated.
They're super dedicated. And LeBron, I remember one time he even said, like, he didn't know Kobe. He thought he was more famous until he saw what Kobe had over in China.
In the Olympics?
Yeah, he thought he was famous. Look, this is LeBron James right now saying that I didn't know I was not famous till I saw Kobe when he was in China.
Yeah.
So that tells you the basketball level of loyalty they have over there.
Yeah. Kobe. Good Lord, man.
No, you're gonna get me crying, man.
I know. I'll show you the footage of me. I told you on the last time I was about to shoot a video, and then I got that news, and I caught my genuine crying breakdown reaction on film because I just hit record, and then Clutch Points, I think, told me. So yeah, I've got that somewhere. I still haven't it's almost been a year now, and I haven't gotten around to looking at that footage or any of it. But every time I see low clouds, every single time, like there was a really deep haze just a couple of days ago, hanging over all these little these hills over here, and I'm just looking at them, and that's all I think about. I can't see low clouds without thinking of Kobe. So
yeah, man, for sure.
There was actually a day the other day, I was not feeling happy. I was feeling a bit depressed, even, you could say. And then, so I had the whole day, I had this whole shitty, just hating everything type of day. And then at 8:24, I look down and I just happen to see it. And I'm like, all right, just pull yourself out of it. Just don't stop. You're doing this to yourself. Stop being so negative.
Yeah. It's certain times, going back to COVID, I don't want to keep bringing COVID up, but at first what happened when we first got it, like people were kind of, losing their minds and being like, we're going to have to stock up, people buying stuff in the stores and everything like that. So we didn't know what we were dealing with. And then gradually over time, you start seeing the reality of what's going on. So we're in month 9. So if you're still reacting how you are in the first month with COVID, then it's like, yeah, bro, like, come on.
Yeah. No.
Nobody has to stock up all the toilet tissue and food that you need. Like, that's not necessary, bro.
Did you ever play Halo as a kid?
Growing up?
Yeah.
I did.
I think that this is the way that starts.
I think it is too.
Like this is just the little piece that starts the entire story of Halo. And we start putting cloth masks over our face. And some people are already going to the face shields. And at some point there's gonna be a new disease where there's something that's actually airborne and you can't smell. If you get this into your nose, you will die. And that's where the body armor starts happening. That's where everybody starts having their own oxygen tanks. And then we're all just covered up in this armor. And now we're in Halo. And then that is when the aliens show up.
Yeah. Yes, that's very true, bro. Like, I just really realized that. It's amazing what video games and TV can actually tell you about real life.
I mean, I hope not, but it might.
It's like a coincidence. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it definitely, it's like, how you lined everything up, it's like what's going on right now.
Yeah. Are you the face shield guy? How scared of it are you?
You're
not scared of it at all?
Not really, bro.
Yeah. Like it exists, but it's just like at a certain point.
It's like my thoughts on the whole thing, bro. Like, I feel like it is for real. I think it's something that people need to take precaution of. But I don't think it's something any more different what people should have been doing since the beginning. Like, you should have been washing your hands back when, like, you know what I mean? Like,
elementary school shit.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a fad where you have to wash your hands. And being clean, covering your mouth, with your arm and things of that nature should have been just things that you pick up when you were a kid. So
yeah,
I'm thinking like, okay, well, this is something that shouldn't change the reality of like what's been going on, like still do the same things. Social distancing, I mean, okay. But the mask in general, I have mixed feelings about. I don't think that we should be focusing so much on the mask and that as much as we should be focused on upping our immune systems.
100%.
Like how you eat, working out. You know what's crazy? They closed the gyms in California.
They close the gyms everywhere.
They close them here too?
Yeah, that's why I was telling you earlier. COVID hit. I had just signed a contract with Gold's Gym, and then they closed it. And they weren't going to charge me for the months that they were closed. Right. But I went. I had my body scan. They told me I was I guess I wasn't fat, but I was. They gave me my body composition, and then the second I walked out the door, I got an email that said, "Hey, all the gyms are now effectively closed." And that's that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they closed gyms across the nation. All of them.
They closed all the gyms in California. And I'm thinking like, wait a minute. If you're talking about upping our immune system, don't we need the gym? Like, don't we need to be active and stuff like that? Because I'm not seeing no cases from the gyms.
No.
You're not seeing no cases either, are you?
I mean, I guess I haven't been paying too much attention to the gyms, but of the people that I know that go to gyms, no. No, nobody I know that's like in a fit. I know there are some that are fit and have gotten healthy, but that was happening anyway. Like some people have been healthy and they're so ripped and crazy, and then they just have a heart attack out of nowhere. Like that happens. Shit like that happens. But no, I haven't heard of a lot of cases coming out of gyms.
But you close the gyms down, you force people to wear masks, you tell people about the social distance, but the immune system is what I think people need to be actually doing. And I think that, quiet is kept, but you can agree or not. I think America, when it comes to dieting and taking care of itself, I feel like we don't have the best. We don't have the most care about how we eat, what we put in our bodies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we were talking about stretching and being disciplined and doing it because they don't know that they need to do it yet, and they haven't had the experience to where it's really affecting them to a life or death situation like it could be now. And now that everything's here, there's a huge difference between being healthy and being actually healthy. Mm-hmm. Like you could just be healthy and living and be overweight, and technically, right? We're overweight and just here, and we're alive in terms of being healthy. I'm alive.
Right.
Like that's not really healthy.
Right. It's not. No. It's not. And then it's like the foods that we put in our bodies, like, processing, like you pretty much have to eat organic just to have healthy fruit. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Because all the pesticides you spread on like the regular fruit, apples and stuff like that goes in your system. And I think more times when people start, because I had to do it, educate myself on what I put in my body, still doing it to this day, I think you'll see more of an increase of like better health. You'll see a better increase of people's moods, stuff like that. Like that,
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Vitamins, all that good stuff is what you need in your body. All the natural resources we have here in the world that God put on the earth is what we should be putting in our body.
Right. It's really hard to find food that isn't touched by some sort of chemical. And even if you grow it yourself in some cases, because the soil, I guess, is already tainted, you can't even make non-chemical food, even if you're growing it yourself in some cases. So it's a big issue. But I, as somebody who does pay attention to what they eat on a regular basis, the last couple of weeks, it's been real bad because I've been eating basically nothing but macaroni and cheese and chicken. But it's it's not the absolute worst. Yeah, it could be pizza.
It could be something.
Pizza's terrible. But but my point is, I do think about what I eat all the time, and I'm always I have a good regulation of my body. I know like what I'm feeling. And some people, a lot of times they don't know, like if you're eating sugar all the time, that's just what your body feels like. It just always feels like shit. And you don't even know that you feel like shit. But I had this, I've been eating fine. And then I had this beet juice that my friend Amos gave me. And it gave me, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't expect this at all. It hit me about 2 hours after drinking the whole juice. And I was just like, really, it increased my mood. And it increased my focus, and I had this like vibrating buzz to me.
Right.
And I've been told that apparently beets do that to you. I haven't looked that up myself, but somebody told me that beets can help with like focusing like that and can give you that buzzing sort of healthy glow effect.
Yeah, I never ate beets either, but I do know that it's like super beneficial for you. And any type of fruit, anything that you put in your body is gonna like be how you act. So like you said, if you have sugar in your body, you ain't gonna have no energy.
Right.
You're gonna be like crashing, falling asleep in class, whatever it may have you. But if I have my certain vegetables, if I drink water, if I, eat full real meals, then I'm gonna be like much more energetic and it's gonna be better for my day. Cause you've seen a person who hasn't eat all day, like how their mood is.
Right. Yeah. They're pissed off and going to, they're going to cut you off in traffic and not care.
You got an attitude with me and nobody did nothing, but they ain't putting the right food in their body and stuff like that. So it's crazy.
I would really like to have to, I really need to stop eating all this macaroni. Like I was saying earlier how I've been depressed here and there, and I think that might have something to do with it. I think I may be eating too much macaroni, too many carbs.
Yeah.
Just too many carbs. I need to start buying some more apples myself.
Yeah, bro. Apples and oranges, man. Like I used to suck on oranges, like for real, like really suck on them. For some reason, they give me energy because calcium.
Suck on them?
Like suck the juice out of them.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll, eat it, whatever. But I start off with, it's kind of like.
You like savoring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because I don't know if you had sour straws before.
Yeah.
Okay. So I used to like suck on the sugary part first, and then I'll eat
Interesting.
the straw. You know what I mean?
Are you a slow eater? Whenever you're eating anything, you eat pretty fast then?
I eat fast. But I slowed down over the years because I don't know how somebody explained to me, but when you eat fast, you're not getting the full effect of the meal. If that makes sense.
In terms of knowing that your stomach is full yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now you can be overeating without even knowing it, or you can be rushing, just not taking your time letting your food digest.
Right. It's too big for your body to get the full benefit.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm taking my time now, but I still eat pretty rapid.
Yeah. Do you know when that started? Because I always tell this story of why I eat fast, but I think I might just be stealing it from my dad because there was always enough food growing up. But my dad used to tell me a story where if you didn't make it to the table, there was no food because all the other men in the house would eat it before you got it. And so that's where the eating fast needed to happen in order to live or to be full.
That wasn't me. Like, we always had food. It was just, I don't know. I just like to eat.
Yeah.
I love to feed. I'll eat up a fat person. I eat like a fat guy.
Me too. I tell people I really am a little fat boy on the inside. Like it takes work to stay skinny.
It takes a lot of work.
And it's easy. Basketball is a really good way to do that. You don't even realize how much cardio you're doing when you're playing basketball.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's just like, oh, you just hooping. But yeah, you're right. You don't know how many calories you burn.
You turn on my calorie watch. I burn at least 1,500 in like a little pickup game, like 3 or 4 games, like of 3s or 4s.
Yeah,
1,500 calories, easy.
Y'all got a court out here?
Yeah. Well, not right here. We can go down the street if you got things to do. But
yeah.
There's a
come out here next time I come. Go to the court, get some shots up.
Yeah. I'd love to get your opinion of where I could fit in a league.
That pass you showed me the other day to your roommate was actually a good pass. I'm like, I still have images. I was laughing because it hit him in the face.
He's here right now. You meet this man in the flesh. You can hit him in the face yourself.
You gotta have your hands up, bro.
I've been telling him, dude. I've been telling him the way, because he played football, and I've been trying to teach him. Just the ball is always a fumble.
Right.
The entire game of basketball, the ball has been fumbled and you want it. You're trying to get it. So have your hands up, be ready, because it's going to come your way at some point, whether you know it or not.
It's coming. So just be ready.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I feel like you might have somebody waiting for you.
Yeah.
You might
that time.
Yeah. Okay. I know you got to get out of here. So
yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, it's been a pleasure. Podcast is great. And thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to be here and actually do the podcast with you. You want me to shout out my media information again for people that didn't get it?
Yeah, no, we got you. I'm going to put a little tag on it. So it'll be up there, and I'll put everything in the descriptions, but it's BJizzle, BIJIZ. BJIZZLLE.
There
it is.
Yes, sir.
There it is. Yeah, and there'll be a little thing popping out of your head here in a second, and then everything that he has is in the description below. Thanks, everybody. DanGalvan.com for all things me. Subscribe to the Patreon. Help a brother out and help me make this dream come to fruition here. We gotta keep pushing here. And now, I mean, most of that's gonna come from me. I've got to make some secret content or extra content or something. There's just more work for me to be done for people to actually subscribe to Patreon. So how about this? How about leave me comments somewhere in the description, or hit me up on DMs and tell me what you would like to see that you would actually pay money for. And that'll help me go in the right direction.
You heard the man. Help a brother out. You know what I mean? Do the right thing.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You. Yes, sir.
Later.
Yes, sir. Bam. Whew. Oh, that was great. How much recording time was that?